I spy with my little eye. It's a drone, little birdie in the sky, way up high. There she go. Need a jacket or a pair of black Yeezys. Mom and dad, please, I just need this sanity. Yeah, it's everything that I want and everything that I need. Yeah, I've been living real good. I'm full, please give one to me. I could try on my own, but it would mean.
Are you ready, kids? What's up, everybody?
Hi, Captain.
Hope everybody is having a good day. Thank you guys for bearing with us. Sorry, we had a client call that just ran over, and we needed a few minutes to prep the stream stuff. But yeah, thanks everybody for hopping on and joining us today. Have some fun stuff to share here. We've got our web team, and we'll do some intros in a sec, and then some fun updates to share on just overall progress on things. So in case you are new, hey, my name's Peter. Yes, the eye patch is new. We'll talk about that later. And we've got Iker and the web team here. So maybe Iker, if you want to intro yourself, and then let's pass it off to Benton and Alex as well.
Sure thing. If you haven't met me already, my name's Iker. I'm the creative director of web here at Dronies and Unfold. And we're pretty stoked to show you guys what we've been working on in the background here for the new Dronies website. And let me pass it over to Benton.
Hey, I'm Benton, a web designer at Unfold and designer on the Dronies team. We got to work on a pretty sweet site that we'll get to show you guys today. On to Alex.
Yeah, hey, I'm Alex Iman, also web designer at Unfold. And yeah, I got to work on the Dronies project and be a part of that. So excited to see what we're getting into.
Yeah. Well, why don't we can kind of jump right into there, and then we can share some more updates on overall things here after that. But I know we've got some stuff prepped here in Figma, so I'm going to jump over to Iker. And yeah, go ahead and kick us off. We'll just share a little bit of progress on this.
Are you seeing me?
I gotcha.
All right. So one of the things that we do here at Unfold in our kind of process is really top level. It's a bona fide mood board. We call it a stylescape. It basically gives us an opportunity to define what direction we're going to take visually and aesthetically for any of our designs that we're moving forward with. This also gives us a temperature gauge with our client. And in this case, we work really closely with all the core Dronies team to make sure that what we're working on and creating really delivered a punch towards the growth and evolution of the brand. So the first thing you'll see here is the first, let's look at this as stepping stones that eventually lead us to where we end up. And I'll kind of kick it off here with Benton. And I don't know if maybe we switch over and follow Benton here and really just touch on some of the points within the stylescape that kind of helped influence the direction that we moved into for this.
Yeah. All right. I'm on Benton as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So our challenge was to refresh the Dronies site. You guys are familiar with what it's out there already. That was built just around the NFT project. And our challenge was to create something that would house the overall parent Dronies brand. Since we want to include more media, we got like comics and a bunch of other things that we have in the works, and we needed to create something that would house all of those in a way that felt in line with the brand that has been created. So that was our challenge. We wanted to at least pick two different directions stylistically that we could build upon, and we actually ended up revisiting some of the old stylescapes from the original web design project that we didn't necessarily have time to create on the first pass. So we got to pull some of those out, and it gave us a lot of good direction on what we could explore. So the first one is we wanted it to feel gritty and modern, even a little bit brutalist. So exploring different layouts that feel to have a little bit of tension, create some visual tension, and are a little bit more unique in that way. So some of these items were from the original stylescapes that Dave and some of the other guys on the team had pulled originally, and we wanted to bring those back in and see if we could integrate those in some way. So a lot of it included these more kind of retro imagery, this texture, even bringing in more tactile elements like tape and stickers, And we really like that because with the Dronies storyline, it's a lot more like investigative, I guess would be a way to put it. You're uncovering clues as you go. And we wanted the site to feel the same, like you're kind of finding these clues as you go and can interact with different elements. So that influenced that a lot, like things like torn pieces of paper, similar to like articles and things like that were released during the original Dronies storyline, bringing in more technical elements that feel in line with the overall Dronies brand, and then playing with interesting typography, more technical drawings and things like that.
And one of the things that we loved
had
about
like kind
that,
of like a futuristic feel to it.
yeah, and like part of what I remember we loved with this original stylescape too, or like you said, the parts of, was that there's this feeling of like it's futuristic, it's techy, but at the same time it feels like vintage. Like especially I remember the astronaut and the Cosmos one. It's like this feels what was that old ride at Disneyland? It was like above Star Tours.
Epcot?
Yeah. I think it was like the Michael Jackson one or something. And it has that vibe of like you're going down the tunnel and whatnot. So it feels vintagey and like something out of the 80s, but yet it's meant to look like the year 3000 at the same time. And there's this cool juxtaposition with that. And I mean, I know that's part of where this all leads to, but it was cool to see that.
Yeah, that's kind of like the vibes from the story, is like this, like it's like what the 80s or the 70s era would have predicted the future would look like. And like that's where we kind of had fun with visualizing that aesthetic. And I think like to point out some of the things that like don't belong, like the rough edges, like that tactile nature of these elements that are laying in a digital space that like they don't belong there. Like we're looking at screens and it feels like there's something beyond just the screen. And it's like this little subtle nuances that we added into this that kind of was derived from the stylescape, I think. But yeah, man, I mean, from the start of this project, I knew I looked at the stylescape and I was like, man, this is the one. But yeah, let's jump into direction 2, where Alex, I think you kind of led the way more on this direction, and maybe you can kind of give us some high notes similar to how Ben ran through the other one.
Yeah, sure. So for direction 2, we wanted to obviously differentiate a little bit, but obviously keep it in that same kind of retro, futuristic style that you touched on, Iker. And so we did a couple variations, obviously leaning a lot more into the green, trying to clean it up a bit, because I think the existing site for Dronies was pretty graphic heavy in terms of glitches and stuff. So we wanted to have a little bit more of a clean approach to it, using, old school typography from the 60s or something like that would feel a little bit more clean, kind of paired with these like, old school graphic like renderings and stuff. And so we have little icons and stuff that kind of touch on like the old DOS systems back in the day from the old computer. Yeah, like you were saying, old computer setup. And then as well, like Benson was talking about, more tactile pieces. So trying to bring in like a realistic VHS tape, or we have some floppy disks over here, to have something physical that was sort of also grounded in a sense too. And so like on this example, where you get a little bit of texture here, that it feels like it could have been an old pamphlet you got with a floppy disk or something like that, just to have a little bit more of a realistic feel to it, using these old school like VHS emblems or different broadcasting things. So a lot more focus on a little metadata as well. The typography being a lot cleaner, so the direction 1 was a little bit more funky in terms of the typography, and this was a little bit more realistic in terms of typography. And so like the old school, like what a computer could generate in the 80s. And then again, some more tactile examples down here, a little bit more color usage as well in some of these later examples, but trying to keep it, grounded in some physical reality.
Right on. And it's funny, like you both have like a different way of approaching design and kind of how you interpreted this aesthetic that we're moving towards. And I love to see how eventually the two separate ideas would kind of come together. And like as we move into like now the wireframe, like you can see these elements and these influences that are starting to come to the surface. And like you notice it right away when you land here. just the juxtaposition of items in here now, and like they're all purpose driven. There's nothing that exists in this design that doesn't have like meaning or rationale behind why it's there. And I love the idea that this almost felt like someone's desktop that was like putting pieces of a puzzle together, or they're solving a crime, or like, you know, it just has that like sense of investigative nature to it. And like, Benton, if you want to just kind of like maybe move through this a little bit and talk about those instances in the stylescape that like kind of inspired this layout a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say in the second stylescape, I'd say this is really what sparked everything for this design. We were like, what if you had different elements? There's different physical items like a floppy disk or like a game cartridge or a Polaroid or a torn newspaper article. What if we had those actual things you could interact with and move around and be able to manipulate in some way? And that's really what sparked this layout for the wireframe. Was thinking through that idea of just like what you were saying, Iker, is like an overhead view of someone's desk, almost like a detective or something. There's like a lamp on it or something, and you're looking at all these different items and can interact with them in different ways and kind of go down each of these rabbit holes. And we wanted to stay away from a grid. Like in web design, a lot of times you'll stick to a pretty rigid grid. You don't really see these organic layouts as much, and we had the freedom to really kind of throw the rules out the window for this project, which I think made it a lot more unique. So you'll see that these are all just kind of haphazardly arranged. I say that haphazardly, not necessarily in that way, but in a way that feels more natural and organic.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's like noticeable throughout Dronies as a whole, is like every project that we're working on, it's like a labor of love, and it's us getting to do the things that we don't get to do in our dailies. And like I just remember like in those early meetings of like, let's make something weird, let's go out there and just like, let's go too far and then reel back in. And I really think that that's what we did. And even this wireframe alone, like I love how detailed you guys actually got with it, where it feels like it's the actual final design, but little do the people watching this know that it gets better than this. Like we've refined it even further. So like maybe we can kind of skip through this a little bit and touch on some of these pieces, and then get into the meat and bones of the actual design that we put together.
Yeah, I'd say that this was like probably one of the fastest wireframes that we had come together. Is like once we had an idea, it just came together really quickly, and we got into the high fidelity design pretty soon, which was a lot of fun. So yeah. The main thing really for the wireframe, we'll skip through it, is just the different things that we wanted to include, like all the different types of media that we wanted to touch on, because we're including the whole breadth of the Dronies brand now and not just the NFT project.
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome.
Well, so, Iker, do you want to tee up the Dronies side?
So yeah, let's get into it.
All right, I'll switch over to Iker.
All right. So as you can see, the full evolution of everything that we've looked at and kind of set up going into this has been, I'd say it's an intense process, but it's all in good fun. And I feel like we got to reap the benefits of the full team really getting like real time to go through and put this together. And even Moss, who's not on this call, to help, you know, with the content and writing what is the story that's still being told within this website, beyond just what you guys know and see. And that's kind of the fun that we were able to have with this. And right now you get to see the end product that's been really put together here, showing things like we're going to link out to the collection and how things are going to interact, which you can't see in a static design right now. But trust me, you've seen the development of this in process, and it's looking really good. So we're excited for you guys to see it live and in the space, and hopefully it's something that you guys are proud of as well as Dronies holders, to really get to see that We are still putting the attention and passion and love into this project beyond just the NFT itself, and that's all possible because of you guys, really. So we want to make sure that we're still serving you and making sure that you feel the love, even in the little things like the website design. And one of the cool things was being able to pull in some of the merchandise too, of linking out to the gear, and like these are things that we can update as we continue to add things to the site. And what we're really excited for is to actually showcase some of the comic art when it's finished and in its final state, to be able to have it live and breathe in the space as well. That's kind of the way this section was kind of built, and thinking of adding some of those mechanics of that like retro modern devices that don't feel like they belong, but we've kind of made them the aesthetic for this project. Actually having like a version of the comic book show up in the actual website's view here, and then clicking through, you'll be able to see issues that are upcoming, and kind of link out to details on those as well. There's more to come on that. We just won't be covering that today per se. And then moving into that community section, you can kind of see how this has all come together to showcase the things that's being tweeted out there. When we want to highlight things specifically happening, having a space for that to be up close to the top of the site, because we know how important it is to continue adding to the community and keeping that involvement going. And then Eagle Eyes will spot other things in this design that I'm not going to call out right now, but we'll leave that for you to discover when it's actually alive and out there. But yeah, I mean, this little folder structure is going to be adding to that little depth of interactivity, where right now everything's exposed and open, but we kind of have some mechanics built in to make it feel like it's as if though you're kind of sorting through these.
Yeah, I was just checking that animation out on the live dev right now. It's cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how that renders across the board there. But yeah, I mean, all in all, like just for this refined version of the site, I think as a team, like we were all really happy with how this turned out. And for those who aren't able to make this call that have also helped contribute to this, like hats off to them, because this was truly a group effort, and getting all the big brains in here to help ideate through things. And the illustrators who created the NFTs were in here and illustrated a lot of the items and objects that you see as well. So shout out to Court and Vic and Bo. And we've also had input from the brand designers that they worked on all the logos for the different things that we have coming up that may or may not be sprinkled throughout this design. And yeah, I mean, as far as the web design, I think that's pretty much covering it. Is there anything else you had questions for us, Pete, in regards to this?
No, I mean, it's awesome to see. I know there's a couple other sub pages and stuff that will be in there as well. But like I said, it's really fun. I'm poking around at the site at the moment, and it's cool to see all the interactivity, and then knowing some of the stuff that we're looking to add in there as well is going to be really, really fun. So we wanted to do a better job, like post-mint, of really being able to showcase what's going on with the project as a whole, and showcase the different things that are happening, so that being an entertainment driven project, that it's not solely focused on the NFT itself, but we're getting into the comics and media and story and merch and all the different things, and just highlighting all of that. So really cool to see it come together. And this has been a fun example of a site too that honestly is so different than what we get to do day in and day out as like a design agency for clients. It's very much been if you know the rules, you get to break the rules kind of thing, and have fun with it in a different way, and do things that we couldn't necessarily get away with on other projects. So yeah, it's been super cool to see this come alive, and I know the team's been having a lot of fun, just getting to see this evolve and fruition into everything, and excited to have this. And like somebody in chat mentioned, hopefully be able to time the release here shortly around some other things that are going on as well. But yeah, this is awesome to see. And again, just as stuff gets to the stage, like this is where we can start to show you guys some stuff. We'd actually planned to show this like a week or two ago, and between all of us getting back from the conference and then I had some health stuff going on, it just kind of got pushed back a little bit. So apologies on the delay there, but this is the stuff that we want to do more often and share what we're up to and show the process of it, kind of behind the scenes stuff as well. So, yeah. Cool. Well, let me switch back over to a different scene. Sorry, I'm trying to do all this like with one eye. Is very different when I can't see my other monitor all the way over here. In terms of some other updates, let me just catch up on some things from chat here. Crypto Mountains extra staking rewards for having our Drony featured. That'd be fun. Okay, so let's go over a couple of updates. And as we mentioned in prep today, this is just an update on some of the things that are happening within the project. We're not dropping any crazy announcements or anything like that here this week, but do want to give some updates on some of the things that are being worked on and whatnot. So we've already talked about the website stuff. It's actively in development right now. So I'm going to check in with the team, and I was out all day yesterday. So let me just make sure I've got the updates on that side for correct dates, and then we'll start to share. I have no problem sharing when we would expect that to hopefully be completed by. Comic book, also want to give a shout out to Iker here on that side. He's really been spearheading a lot of the comic endeavors for our team and just helping coordinate that with Dave and Moss. And we have just about finished. I'm going to say everything is completed pending some signed contracts, which again, late on my part. I'm actually going to be doing that after this call of reviewing the contracts that we have going out to all final parties for all final positions. But the whole comic team, we have verbal green lights on everybody that is moving forward and all set. And so once that's in place, and I know we've got a little bit of like character creation to do in terms of setting up, styles and stuff like that. But once that's locked and loaded, we're in full swing of things to get the comic rolling. Yeah. Anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like, as soon as we get contracts up, script writing specifically for the issues is going to be underway. And that's kind of the starting point for everything that will come. And then our illustrator, inker, and colorists are going to be at it.
Yeah.
So it's going to pick up fast when it does.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. The team that we have too, it's so fun to see the dream team come together of like, hey, here's all the people we really want on this, and then getting them. I know it was the artist that I really wanted. He was my first pick, and so I'm super thrilled to see folks come in here and just. We're really excited to see this come to life. It's going to be really cool to push the brand and the story further, and it's going to be fantastic. So. We've also got Soul Treasure game night. So Coach Chuck from our community has been building some really cool things, and I know we got to sit down with Will and go over that. And I believe there's an announcement coming out about that later today. I think Will is just on his flight at the moment. When he lands, he was going to send some stuff out about that. So really excited about that, and just really excited to lift up another one of our community members and showcase some of the really cool things that they are building, and how we can intertwine that here with the community as well. So that'll be awesome. And then let's see. So something that we've been talking about a lot with the community as well. Will is been rocking and rolling, and just been awesome at championing out a bunch of new things that are going on. So he's going to be having activities and community get-togethers like literally on a weekly basis now. So again, some more announcements coming out about this, but things like last night's trivia night, other activities. There's going to be new roles for social raids. working with T-Lens, getting notes of all the talks and streams, alpha group and stuff set up. Had some amazing folks jump in and step up to start taking charge of the alpha group and really get that rocking and rolling. And I think Will had mentioned he's going to be working on a lot of that tomorrow and over the weekend. So that's going to be really, really cool to get all of that established. So for everyone that's been asking, hey, we want to see more activity, we want to see more, giveaways and engagements and stuff like that, Will is crushing it on that front, and all that's about to roll out. So really excited for that to drum up some more engagement of different things. You might have noticed there's a new bot set up that Sergey has added as well to the different community groups. So if somebody, for example, is going to join Gold Gang and they just purchased a gold Droney, it's going to send out a little like, hey, welcome, this person just showed up. And we've already seen that get utilized immediately. I think Gold Gang was the first that saw it and went, hey, check out the pinned messages and stuff. Here's what this group is about. Here's the things that we're doing and focusing on. So it's going to be a really cool way to just engage and welcome new members as they come into those channels. So that's going to be a lot of fun. The Portals giveaway was a success, and we sent out the Soul and Story NFT to the winner, and we've got some more stuff that's going to be rolling out in that realm as well. So that's gonna be really fun. The first series of merch has already gone out. The second series, the one that's currently up on the site, again, there was a delay on that. That's my responsibility. I kept telling the team, let's connect on it, and then hell stuff. So those are going to get sent out to print this week. So the shirts are actually already printed because we had done those ahead of time for our conference, and have stock and inventory of those. So we're going to send them out to anybody that is purchased. So I'd probably say today, tomorrow is going to be the last day that we'll leave that up. So if you have not yet purchased a shirt or hoodie and you would like two of the new designs, the white and green Dronies tees and hoodies that are kind of the exploded mechanical view, go ahead and grab one. We're going to start shipping those out ASAP, and we'll get the hoodies out as well, and then get the next round of merch up there as well. And then somebody wrote health issues on the agenda. I could talk about that if we want, but yeah, I think that's kind of everything for the moment. So, the big things that we're focusing on are again, just communication, engagement, getting more community activities, getting more Twitter spaces and collabs and stuff going with other projects. I was just on again with the Grimm's team this morning. We've got some stuff that we're going to be working on with them in a couple of different ways to do some cross promotion and things like that, as well as some other fun stuff, and a few other projects that we've been working with and talking to as well. So continuing to do that, really loving the new town hall structure. That's been a lot of fun to do, more intimate community updates, and then having the 1 to 2 times a week spaces that Will's been pioneering, to either jump on and talk with other projects or have them on and cross collaborate with other projects. And Don is saying unable to add merch to the cart on the website. I will figure out what that is. I think I know what the issue is, so I'll fix that after the stream, and we'll leave that up until Friday. We probably had cut the date a little bit earlier on that stuff, so if anyone does want to grab any of those additional merch items, you can do that. And then give me a second to read, because this is harder. About half capacity. Let's see. Someone was asking about physical copies of comics, or is it just going to be digital? That's something that we're talking about with like Stegman and whatnot. If we may do a small limited run and make them like, exclusive collector's items. Is it going to be available to everyone? Again, some discussion there of, do we want to have it a little bit gated where maybe you can read a portion of the series or of the comic, and then would need one to read the full issue. And we'd love your input on that. So, drop some thoughts and notes in Discord for us about it. There's different thoughts in maybe the first issue is open to everybody, just so we can get, more global buy-in, and then have it be gated so that there's more holder utility and stuff for it. Again, just pros and cons to all this kind of stuff. let's see. What is the team doing to bring in new members and retain them? Can we talk about marketing? Yeah, so I'm going to let Will jump in on some more of that. I'll have him address that in the next conversation because, again, I've been out a bit this week, but I know he's doing a lot to engage with other folks in the space and help get the word out about the project and showcase the things that are being built as we were able to show more progress of the items that are being worked on as well. Hopefully have some more updates on the gaming stuff soon. We just had a conversation with one of the gaming companies yesterday that we're really interested in working with that, they're going to pitch some potential game directions to us and see, what our thoughts are and if those are directions that we would want to go as well. So really fun, just kind of brainstorm call with them the other day to work towards some finalization of what that could be. And we're really excited about the possibilities there. So again, hopefully some updates to share over the next couple of weeks as more of that rolls in. Let me see if there's anything else. I think we'll kind of jump in and chat some more in Discord with some folks. But yeah, just wanted to run through some of the updates for today or for this month. And again, we'll be back to the normal town halls and stuff like that. But we want to do a little bit more once a month visual shows of all the things that are being worked on. So yeah, with that, anything else you guys want to sign off on? Otherwise, I'll wrap us up so we can get back into some stuff.
All good here.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for hopping on with us today, and we'll catch you soon. Catch you in Discord, and let us know if you have any other questions. All right. Take care, all. Bye. All right, cool.